Thanks for downloading another episode of The Ugly Truth. Or if it's your first time, welcome. You are now an honorary Ugg, or Hug as we like to say. We really appreciate you listening and supporting the show through our Amazon and Avon links at uglytruth.com. And now, without further ado, The Ugly Truth. It's another uncensored look at the world around you from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie.
Lick it up! Lick it up!
Paula.
Kumbaya, my lord.
Uncensored as always, it's time for The Ugly Truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth, everyone. It's episode 215. Ugh!
Sorry.
That's all right.
That was a lame one.
It's okay. You were saving up all of your good juju for the go.
I know.
That's all that's left over. It's like the end of a balloon that's blowing out.
So tired from this heat. I'm trying to just keep things straight in my head.
Right. So welcome back, Paula. Actually, it wasn't not a welcome back. Producer Dub and I decided to do a very last minute quickie show last week because our schedules just did not align because we were on vacation and we had just taken a break. So I didn't want to do, another break because we have such high demand with our listeners.
We do, especially this month.
Right? So anyway, in other words, share the show. Tell everybody about it. I know it's summer. I mean, summer is the lull for listening. A lot of people save up a lot of their shows and then they listen to them when they go on trips or, whatever. Summer is like nobody's listening to podcasts in the summer. I mean, people are, obviously. We still have lots of downloads, but it's not like it normally is. And so we're sad about it. But I don't think we're alone in that boat. I think a lot of people go through that. And so ours just makes us sad. It makes us feel like, why are we doing this?
Where did our friends go?
Where did you guys go? You went to Hawaii? Anyway, so considering all of that, what's up with the weather, everybody? I mean, we talk about the weather like we're old people because we're sisters and that's just what we talk about. But it was, okay, aside from Arizona where they literally can't fly planes because it's 120, it was 111 here.
Yeah.
That's pretty hot.
That's pretty hot for Sacramento. Well, what's hot about it too is that it's only June and we don't really get hot weather like this until August.
Yeah, we usually get the Indian summer, August, September, where we're just like, God. And it's worse at the end of summer because everything's dying because it's going into fall. So it's just like this brown, hot, ugly time of the year. I hate that part of the year. And it feels hotter back for some reason.
And we'll get like a week, like I said, in like mid to late August of the temperatures that we got where it's like, 108, 110, something like that. But never in June. I can't recall a time. And for some reason, this particular weather was like so hot, like it felt like you were sitting in a shower where you just like even the air was hot.
Yeah.
All week the kids kept saying like, we want to go swimming, and I'm just like, you can't go swimming. And they're like, why? They're like, it's hot outside. And I'm like, it's the kind of hot where it's just not safe to go outside and go swimming.
Isn't. I mean, you can, but by the time you get all settled in, you got to get out and go inside.
Well, and they're just like, but we have sunscreen. And I'm like, it's not about the sunscreen. I'm like, this kind of sun. And I'm like, it will like literally like sear your skin. And then I'm like, plus the air and, just the exercising. I'm like, you don't understand. So I was the bad guy for like 4 days because I wouldn't let them go swimming. And to boot, I wasn't going to swim. And
so what do you sit out there and die?
So what was I? Basically, was I going to sit out there and end up like a skeleton carcass in the desert? And so I wasn't going to do that. So we were basically hunkered down in the house and they just kept looking at me and they're like, really be nice to go swimming today.
Like, well, I mean, you could go when the sun sets. After the sun sets, you could go outside. That's what we did. Well,
that's when everybody in their body wanted to go swimming. And so I'm just like, no, thanks. I don't want to get that, brain-eating amoeba from everybody's feet in the pool. Because there would literally be like 8 people in there.
I was going to say, it probably looks like people soup in there. Right?
It did. And I'm just like, and Olivia's like, oh, there's people in the pool now. And I'm like, yeah, we're definitely not going then. I'm one of those people where it's just like, I want to hear crickets chirping before I go out there.
Before you even consider opening the gate.
We are not social people. So,
well, it's not even that. It's just,
I get angry if there's other kids in there.
Oh, yeah. You get resentful. You're like, what are you doing in my pool?
I'm just like, God, you better behave, because I'll get pissed off if you're just like one of those kids that, like, you know, throws a ball and it splashes me.
Can I just sit on this stair and just be cool for a moment without you people making waves in this public pool?
And then I tell the kids, I'm like, all right, I'm like, 10 more minutes. And they're like, we just got here.
And we're like, all right, well, countdown has begun. Get your fun in. Yeah, public pools are the worst. I mean, when when our kids were really little, you know, they did the swim team at the rec center. And so we were at the pool every goddamn day, but sometimes it was just too hot. And so we would go like an hour or so early during public swim.
Yeah.
So they could play instead of just working out and being tired. Mm-hmm. So they would go and play. 5 years into swim team, I'd be like, hey, you guys want to go? They're like, no, I'd rather die than go to the pool to play. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, so it does wear out as well, especially if they do swim. Then they're just like, no, I swimming equates to working out. And no, I don't want to go play. But sometimes they will. Sometimes. But yeah, those places get. And the other problem I have with it, honestly, is when there's a lot of people swimming, is the water gets warmer.
Oh, God.
And I can't do it. I can't deal with the body oils and the pee and the spit and
eventually there's like, you know, hair that comes by, and I'm just like,
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And it's like, if I had my own pool, that's one thing. Like when you had your own pool, it was great.
Exactly.
They can live in it.
We had our own pool with the house. That was fine.
Yes.
But now that we're, you know, bottom feeders here at the apartment complex, and we have to swim with, you know, the the undesirables of the apartment.
Yes.
Then this is the price we have to pay.
Speaking of undesirable, I don't know where I heard this, but I have found a new term for our F word that we hate so much. And I wanted to tell you about it so that we could incorporate it should we ever need to discuss the appendages that we hate.
Okay.
Leg hands.
Leg hands. Okay.
I mean, it's better, right?
I can handle that. It took me a minute to think about it. I was thinking of like a ham hock or something.
I know.
Leg hands.
I think of the literal term leg hand, and it looks gross in my brain, but if we need to refer to it at all, I think that might be the way to go. Right?
Okay. Leg hands. Yes.
Leg hands. And I don't know where I heard the term. I heard it on a show, or not like a podcast, but I heard it somewhere, and I'm like,
well, obviously someone who can appreciate our affinity for the leg hands.
And that's what it is. So from now on, that's what it is.
I got it.
So summer is clearly in full swing for everyone, and your children have been out of school for a month.
It's been a long time. Yeah, they got out of school on Memorial Day. So yeah, about that.
Hasn't even been a month.
It has not, and they are bored. Yeah. Of course. Well, Ryan's not too bored. He's of the age where he doesn't really need to be kept busy. Yes. Like he can be busy messing around on his tablet or watching, you know, YouTube videos, or, you know, find a movie that he wants to watch or something like that. So he's okay. Olivia, on the other hand, she every day, and I don't know where she, Mom? I don't know where she gets that, where she thinks like every day we're going to be doing something like eventful.
There's a plan.
Like there's some big, you know, something going on, like we're going somewhere. Like, you know, on the weekends we usually do something like, we'll take them to like the little jump place, or, you know, there's a little kids arcade thing at the casino that we like to go to, so we'll do that. Or, you know, sometimes we've gone bowling, so we'll do like big things like that. But she thinks that because it's on summer vacation, we should be doing something like that every single day.
That's so funny.
And I'm just like, well, it just doesn't work like that. And so then she just drops her head and kind of walks to her room like, well, I guess I'll just go FML. I guess I'll just go draw.
I guess I'll just sit here and stare at my things.
Freak my life. I guess I'll go draw. So
I would strongly suggest to her, I would be like, you know what? Next summer, I will put you in summer school and you will have something to do every single day. How's that sound? And you will love it.
Yeah, but really, who is that a punishment for? Because summer school starts at 7 a.m.
It does?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Oh my God, that's awful. But you know what? They do that because parents work, some parents work, they dump them off and go to work.
Yeah.
And then they go straight to daycare. They go to the on-school daycare and then they're there till 3. So it's kind of like a replacement for regular school so that they don't have to pay for babysitting and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah, that does suck. That does suck.
So she does a lot of drawing. She's come up with, we did this thing because we felt like they were spending too much time on their tablets looking at just, filling their brain with nothing.
Sure.
So we require them every day to look at something educational.
Well, why don't you take them to the library and make them get books?
Yeah, we probably could do that.
And I bet Elk Grove has a good library, I bet.
Oh, it's a great library.
Yeah.
No, it's a really great library. So,
it requires you to put on pants, Paula.
Well, that's the big problem.
The big challenge.
It require me to get dressed.
You would have to put your hair in a ponytail, but,
Well, we've had them look up something. So we told them, you have to stop filling your brain with nonsense of, pranks and video game
jokes,
people playing video games and you just watching them. I don't even know why that's entertaining, but people like to watch that on YouTube.
They do.
And so Ryan has been watching a lot of cooking shows and learning lessons about like how to make various dishes and knife cuts and what different spices are and things like that because, he wants to be a professional chef when he grows up.
Have you purchased the materials for him to try this out in real life?
We are going to. I'd like to get some better knives, but maybe it's better that I keep the knives we have because they're not sharp. So
nothing where he can cut his finger off.
Nothing he can actually hurt himself with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Olivia, she was looking more up on dance because she takes dance classes, and so she was looking more up on dance.
So she's still doing dance class?
She is. She's actually getting her pictures taken on Saturday at 10 o'clock, which I was just like, that's great. And so
Saturday morning.
I don't know Paula, why people do stuff like that.
You have to come to peace with it. They get the youth thing happens AMs, mornings.
Why?
Because kids are horrible in the afternoon. Because they're awful in the afternoon. That's like if if your children ever participate in any kind of competitive sport, the kids are done. The little ones are done by like 11. The big kids finish at 2. So it's like you look forward to those times because it's like it's the one benefit of getting up early is that those kids are tuckered out and done and you get to leave. You leave before anyone else.
My kids are just like me. I seriously, since we've been recording, Olivia just walked in here and I can tell she just woke up. Like
they're not morning people.
No, they're just like me.
You're going to have to find a nighttime softball league or something. Oh my God. Maybe roller disco or something.
Well, her dance class is at night, thank God.
Oh, but there you go.
It's just the pictures is, on Saturday morning. So I'm curious to see what her poses are going to be because they want you to come up with some sort of like jazz hip hop pose.
Well, I look forward to the photo. I can't wait for you to send it to me. I'm very much excited about that.
The recital is in 3 weeks.
You better let me come.
I'm going to send you the invite so you can.
Good. I'm absolutely going to be there.
Come to see it if you'd like. But
of course, it's a big deal.
The Ugly Truth podcast will always be free, so we appreciate you supporting the show by shopping on Amazon via our links on uglytruth.com. Here's Jamie with her Amazon pick of the week.
Right now, you can try the Amazon Music Unlimited for free for 30 days. If you love it, you can customize your membership to fit your lifestyle. And don't we love our options? Yes, we do. So go through the Ugly Mall, click on the Amazon link, and check out the free trial for Amazon Music Unlimited. Thanks, Hugs. Bye.
Thanks for helping out the truth. Let's get back to the show.
Okay, so speaking of us, I was telling you about this a little bit before we started recording. And we're pretty open about pretty much anything. My period, my menstrual cycle has been kind of wackadoo because I have I have one adult daughter who lives here because she's in school, but then my other daughter who's almost 17, which I can't even believe it. So they're like super ultra hormonal because they're super young and, raw, and just their hormones are everywhere. And so because of that, my old ass is now playing catch up with their cycles. And because, you're not super regular until you're almost an adult. So your period comes whenever it feels like. It's not on a super routine yet for a lot of us. And so she is not super regular, like on a 30 or 28 day interval. So when she starts, guess who else starts? I do. And so I noticed it last month when I started, and I was like, God, that's almost a week early. That's weird. And then I spotted for a week, and it sucked because it never happens to me. And then this month, we go on vacation, and I literally plan our vacations around my period, because the last thing you want to do is be on the rag when you're at Disneyland. Like, that would be the worst.
Yeah, that probably. I've got so wonky with Victor's daughter being here.
Oh yeah,
that I don't even really know where I'll be at that point.
Exactly. Well, you've got some time.
I'll just have to deal with the repercussions when we plan to go.
Right. The day before yesterday, I finished working out and I went to go pee, and I'm like, what the hell? I was spotting. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, where is this coming from? It's like way too early. Way too early. And so I'm not going to get too graphic or anything like that, but when you go on vacation with kids and you're in the same room, sex isn't happening.
Right.
It's just not happening. Now, I will tell you, and we'll segue into Disneyland maybe after this. We tried so hard to get some alone time when we were in Anaheim, because the girls are 16 and almost 17, and Disneyland is actually fairly safe to send them off.
Sure, at that age.
Right. And so they spent a lot of time on their own, and we spent a lot of time on our own. I mean, we did spend some time together to do some of the bigger rides, but mostly they didn't want to be around us. They wanted to go do their thing, and they did. So we would text them, say, hey, we're going to go back to the hotel. We're going to sit by the pool, have a cocktail, and we'll see you guys at 5 because we're going to meet up for dinner. Okay, no problem. 15 minutes later, well, we're kind of tired, so I think we're just going to come back to the hotel, and we're going to sit by the pool with you. Now, that doesn't give any adult couple enough time to get undressed, have sex, clean up, and there's just that's not happening.
That doesn't even give you time to walk back to the hotel.
Well, we were there already, and I said, hey, let's just give them the heads up that we're going to hang out here, and we'll meet them wherever, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay. So we text him. It's like, well, we're kind of tired, so we're going to head back too. They did this every single time. Every single time. And I said, this is just showing us how young they are, that they still like to be around adults.
Yeah, that they didn't want to be alone at Disneyland.
Right. Not for too long. And so they needed that safety net. And I just looked at him. I said, it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Let it go.
We
let
just
it
need
go.
to let the dream die, and we'll have sex when we get home. Let it go. Exactly. I said, when we get home on Friday, we'll take care of business when we get home, and we'll get back on track. And he's like, all right. And so we were both kind of annoyed, but it's fine. We went there with children. That's just what you do. Yeah. And so they decided we had some fast passes, and so they decided to go. So we actually did get the deed done, and we actually did have time, which was great. So we get back, and this is like Monday, and I'm spotting, and I'm like, God, already? Seriously? Well, it's been, it's time to have sex again. We're like, both like, hey, it's been a little while. We should, get going. So I'm in bed, and it was like in the morning, and Daryl came in after doing some work, and I said, I have some news. And he's like, what? I go, I'm starting my period. And he goes, oh! Like really bad. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry that I'm still fertile and have eggs and can bear your children. What should I do? What would you have me do? And he looks at me and goes, is it because of the heat?
The heat?
Yeah. And I go, you're a moron.
Isn't it funny how I don't want to use the word ignorant, but like how out of tune men are still to women's bodies.
Like how things work. I go, you realize it's pronounced vagina and not vagina, right? I mean, you do know how things work, right? I go, I said, I resent the fact that I have to apologize that I'm still not day-old bred and that I'm still able to bear fruit. And he's like, I'm sorry, you're right. I don't know what I was thinking. I go, oh, I know what you were thinking. You were thinking, I'm not going to get laid for 4 days or whatever. And he's like, well, what do we do? And I'm like, well,
what do you mean, what do we do? We do nothing.
It was so funny. I was particularly cruel just because he was being so dumb. And I mean, we weren't serious. I mean, we were laughing. But I mean, seriously, it's like, I don't know what to do. It's like, I see the true feelings of a woman who is on her period and you have zero sympathy because you want to have sex is what I'm seeing. He's like, I don't know. I'm sorry. You're right. That was very insensitive of me. And I'm like, that's not how you feel. You're just apologizing for nothing. You're truly pissed. It's like, I'm not pissed. It's been days. I'm like, I know. Anyway, I thought it was funny.
No, that's funny. I thought it was funny.
He's like, you're right. I am. You can't. I go, of course. And then, of course, I narrow my eyes. I'm like, of course, you can't give me children. But I can give you children. He's like, no, I can't.
You're like, still hanging. You're still holding that flag.
No, because then I go, honestly, I'm way too old to be having children. I mean, I know women my age do, but it's dangerous, I think. And I said, we'd have some kind of blob baby or something. He goes, a blob baby? I'm like, yes, you know what I mean. I go, and then all of our dreams and hopes go completely out the window. And then I start creating this whole story. I'm like, I mean, think about it. If we even survive to this baby's age of 30, we will be relics. We will be old. We will never see the child have children or get married. I mean, I'm going on. And he's like, all right. So you're on your period. Okay. Fine.
Right.
But wait.
Can we just get past this, or is there more details to the story I have to listen to, or
is there anything else do we need to discuss about our old age when we're old and this imaginary child that won't even be born is coming?
I didn't realize you took your period so seriously. My God.
No, you know what it was? It was just that we had, gotten off our routine.
Yes.
Every couple has a routine, and
Sure.
it felt a little extended. And it felt like the day before, it really felt like, we really need to get busy because, like, I'm feeling it. Like,
yeah.
And I don't even know how to say it other than, it's not like, I'm not saying it's like I have to brush my teeth kind of feeling. It's just,
Right.
You're like, hey, how's it going there, guy? Or whatever.
Yeah.
You just feel it. And he, shit, I could call him right now and say, hey, just kidding, I'm not on my period, come home. He'd be home. He would sprint home right now because, men are pigs.
Yes.
They'll have sex whenever. They don't care. I mean, they do, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, for the most part.
Most men have libidos that never, ever turn off.
Yeah.
So anyway, I could call him and go, hey, I'm naked right now. He's like, you are? Why? What's going on?
Yeah, you are? Why? What's going on?
Send pics. So anyway.
That is so funny.
And it's true.
So speaking of your Disneyland trip, tell me,
Yes.
I told you before we started the show, I think I actually was able to narrow some dates in September for my family to go.
I'm so
Unfortunately,
glad.
the kids are going to have to miss like 2 days of school, but
Oh, well. It's the review time period in school.
it is, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
When I say it's the review time, it's like they're not learning anything new in September. They're reviewing everything that they all forgot in the summer. So it's not that big of a deal. But yes, so we did go to Disneyland. It overall, it was a great time. Reviewed a little bit last week about some of the problems we had. Our flight was canceled minutes before we were supposed to board.
Why?
Mechanical issues with another plane. And so they basically bumped the entire flight to a 5 o'clock flight, and the plane that had the mechanical issues, all those people got on our plane and went to San Diego. So it wasn't our flight that had the mechanical issues, it was another flight. But because our flight wasn't full, they took the full flight and took our plane, and so they bumped us to an empty flight, which was at 5 o'clock. So we stayed at the airport for 5 hours until our flight. It really sucked. It did suck, but you know, when you think about people who get stuck overnight and they have nowhere to go and there's snow and, you know, it really wasn't that bad. You know, 5 hours it feels like a long time, but.
So once you guys got there, did you Uber to the hotel or what'd you do?
Well, we flew into Burbank, which is about 5 or 10 minutes away from Universal Studios, because we spent our last day at Universal Studios.
Oh, okay.
To go to Harry Potter World. And so we rented a car and drove through the traffic to Anaheim because we wanted to spend as much time as we could at Universal Studios before we had to fly out.
Okay.
It literally took us 8 minutes to get to the airport after we left Universal Studios.
Oh, that's
so it was
fast.
Totally worth it at the end of the day. But yeah, we rented, but only because we were going to a second place is why we did that. Then we get to the hotel. We get to Disneyland Hotel because we stayed at Disneyland Hotel. And we get to we requested a premium room because we wanted to have a nice view, and we wanted a couch bed for Malia's friend should she not want to sleep with Malia. And they ended up sleeping in the same bed anyway. They don't care. But we go into the hotel room. We're like, all right, now our vacation can start. And we open up the room, and there's a huge carpet dryer blowing in the room. Like those massive you know, you've seen those.
Yeah.
It looks like a coach whistle.
Like a snail.
But it's upside down, and it blows hot air out onto the carpet because something has spilled.
Right.
So we walk in. The room reeked of diapers.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what is going on in here? And so I said, call that office right now. So he calls and he goes, yeah, there's this big thing here. And he feels down. He goes, yes, the carpet is wet. And I'm like, oh my God, wash your hands. Whatever that was, wash your hands. And I said, I'm not staying in this room. And, you know, of course, Daryl is looking at me like, we're not going to stay in this room. I go, make it happen. He's like, I'm doing what I can. I'm like, all right. We can't turn on each other. It's been a long day. Okay.
Oh God.
I mean, my God, we've been quote unquote traveling for 12 hours because by the time we got to Disneyland, it was almost 9 o'clock, and we got to the airport at like 9 in the morning. So it was a long day. We were all tired and hungry and whatever. So we finally get another room. They knock off a bunch of money off of the hotel. They give us fast passes to go to any ride we want in the park. And we're like, okay, great. So then from that point on, everything was fine. We had no problems after that. It was just it was rocky in the beginning. But if you can do the early morning entrance, I know you people aren't morning people, but if you get access to the early morning entry, use it, because the super popular rides are 1.5 to 2 hour waits.
Oh, wow.
And you do not want to waste all your time. So go to those and get them out of the way, so you can at least say you went on them. Whatever it is, whether it's Guardians of the Galaxy or Cars or whatever, do it. It's so worth it. And I hate getting up early.
Yeah.
Doing the morning thing. And I've never done the early morning thing before, but we did it this year and it was super worth it. I was so glad we did it. We got on the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride in 5 minutes.
Wow.
Walked in, sat down, and it was awesome. Now, of course, it was 8 a.m., and I'm flinging I'm being flung upside, up and down in this big ride.
Right.
Really super fun. So of course by the end I'm like, I don't feel good.
Did you go?
Yes.
like that news anchor guy.
No, I did not pass out. I always laugh. I always start laughing.
That guy was so funny.
That was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. But it's a really fun ride. The kids will love it. But the wait is like 90 to 100 minutes always. And so it's definitely worth going early if you can get the early morning thing. And it's ridiculously early, but it's worth it. Okay, so the other thing that happened was, because it was so hot, we did not bring enough socks. Because every time you go back to the hotel to take a break, which you should, by the way,
yeah,
you want to take off your shoes and be like, oh God, because your feet get tired after your leg hands get tired. And so once you take your shoes off, The socks have to be burned. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing like it, Paula, especially with like Ryan and Olivia.
Oh, of course.
Those things, you're going to have to put them in like a Ziploc bag and never hear from them again until you get home. We have to double wash everything. The sweat and the bacterial odor, it was just too much for everyone. No one was immune. And so bring double. Assume that you'll change every day twice at least.
Okay.
And that goes for underwear too. Now, I was talking about, we went on Splash Mountain, Daryl and I did, and we got soaked to the skin. Now, I made the same mistake the last time I went to Disneyland. I wore shorts. And if you look around, you will notice that most women aren't wearing shorts. They're wearing workout pants or yoga pants.
Oh, really?
The capri ones, the cute black capri workout pants, whatever. Yeah, with t-shirts or tanks or whatever, but they're wearing yoga pants. First of all, it looks better than shorts and tennis shoes. That always looks kind of tacky, which is what I did. But also, if you get on anything that gets you wet, you start chafing immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's hot and your shorts don't dry right away. And so you start chafing. I started chafing immediately and I went, why did I not remember this the last time? I swore I was never going to wear shorts to Disneyland again because of this very reason. And so can't tell you enough not to wear shorts if you're going to get on Splash Mountain or any other ride that makes you wet.
No, I get you.
Yes. So that is, to me, was the most important thing. And we did go to Harry Potter World on that last day.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
Amazing. It is so fun and it's so real. Like, if you watch the movies, and the first movie when he goes to buy his stuff for school, the village there, that's what it is. It's the village where he buys all of his uniform and his wand and all that stuff. So there's this thing called the wand ceremony. It's essentially, there's a wand shop where you can buy your wand. And the ones that you can buy there are interactive within the Harry Potter world. Mm-hmm. So they're like $50. I did not get your children those because I think they should go and do it. It's really worth it. It's so worth it. You go in and they take big groups you can go in straight into the store if you want, but if you wait just a few minutes, you can go in and you're in the wand shop that you see in the movie. And then they take you into this secret entrance. And so there's like 20 of you, maybe 30 of you, and you're standing around. They put all the little kids in the front so they can see everything. And it's Ollivander's wand shop. I don't know if you are familiar with any of that, but it's in the first one when Harry gets his wand, picks him out. Yeah. Okay, that's basically what you're going to see, except they choose someone from the group who came in. So Malia and her friend were trying desperately to get picked. The problem is that there was some little boys in there. Mm-hmm. And so there was probably no way they were going to get picked over these little boys. So the gentleman comes up and he looks like Ollivander, and he comes up and he goes, and then suddenly music starts playing and he goes, interesting. And he picks this little boy. He goes, excuse me, little boy, what is your name? He goes, I'm Walter. And he goes, Walter, please step up to the counter. He goes, I sense a strange feeling in you that you have some special magic. I think we should try to see if we can find your wand for you. And so he pulls out all these wands, and I'm getting a little throaty because this little boy was fully believing that this was real. It's like Santa. It's like truly believes that he's being chosen, right? Aww. So they try all these wands that aren't working, and then there's these little effects that go off, like a vase breaks and the lights flicker and stuff like that. They're like, nope, these aren't your wands, not yours. And all of a sudden, this music starts again. The Harry Potter music starts. He goes, what? He goes, I wonder if this one would work. And he picks it out and he opens it up. And he gives it to the little boy, and all of a sudden, a light comes up, wind starts to blow around him, and the Harry Potter music plays. He goes, yes, this is your wand, try it. And he does, and all these really cool things happen. He goes, sir, this is your wand. And it's like, I started crying. I literally started crying. I'm like, yes, it's your wand, Walter. And it was like, everyone's like, yay, Walter. I swear to God, Paula, it's the coolest thing you will ever see. Even if your kid doesn't get picked, it is so amazing. And then when you leave, you go into another wand shop, and there are little helpers who will help you handpick you a wand.
Aww.
It's custom for you. And so Malia and her friend Hannah had these people help them. They ask them all these questions and then they go through, and there are millions of wand boxes, and they go and, like, for Malia, they're like, you know what? I know which one you need, but it's in the back. And they went into the back and got one. I mean, it is the coolest thing ever. These girls believe they were wand people. And there are places all throughout the park where you can stand in front and do a little thing here and there, and it makes things move, and it's super interactive. I did get your children wands, but they're not the wands. These are just these. I'm telling them these are practice wands. So when they go and get their own wand picked out for them, then they'll be prepared. Because it's so amazing. And I'm like, it's like I believed it when it was happening because it's so well done. Your kids will love it. So I highly encourage you to try at some point getting out there before they get too old, because it was so brilliantly done and everything is so authentic. It really is. Anyway, but yeah, those are kind of the highlights of the trip. It was fun though. I mean, you know, it's always nice to get away from reality. I never check social media. I mean, unless something, you know, like family oriented happened. I was really nice to de-escalate social life completely.
Decompress.
Yeah, just forget about, you know, the hype and the stress of life right now. I mean, our life luckily isn't too bad, but, you know, just in general, just to get a change of scenery and just focus on different things. It's like the most important thing was like, what are we going to eat? You know,
yeah,
I mean, that
really.
was it. You know, that was it. It's like, are we going to have a cocktail tonight? I don't know. Why not? You know, I mean, that was our biggest thing. And one thing I did notice that was significantly different than the last time we were at Disneyland was how nice everybody is.
Aww.
Everybody is super nice to each other, except for one lady. There's always one lady. Well, she was mad at her children constantly. And they're like, hey, can we get a soda? She's like, I am not spending $20 on a soda. Now sit down. And she would like stomp off with her fanny pack and her denim shorts.
We're going to Disneyland, but we will not have fun.
Well, that was what Daryl said. He goes, why do you go through the pain and expense of, clearly you don't live in California because of their accent. And he goes, why would you go through the pain and expense of getting yourself and your children all the way out to California, going to the quote unquote happiest place on earth, and then suddenly get stingy? Suddenly you're no longer spending any more money. It's like, why? Like, why would you do that? It's like, here's the carrot, but you don't get to eat it. It's too expensive. But hey, at least you get to look at it, right?
I don't know. Kind of people have weird lines in the sand that they draw.
Like it. And here's the other thing. Water isn't any cheaper than soda, by the way, at Disneyland. It's all $3. It does not matter.
Weird.
Whether it's water or Coke. It's all the same price. So anyway, all right, well, let's do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
Mine's just a little one. And I imagine you'll have a large one because you were at Disneyland. But
I was surrounded by people. Of course, I had a large one.
I was walking the other day, and we have along this pathway at our apartment these raised stones, like stepping stones.
Okay.
But they're the stepping stones. They're usually supposed to be embedded in the ground.
Oh, but it's kind of going up.
But they just laid them on the ground.
Yes.
So that way people can step on them, because below is just like some eroded ground area. And so I was walking on them and I tripped on one of them. And so because I tripped on the next one too. And Victor's behind me. And so he's watching me doing all this tripping. And so I get to the top of the cement and I'm still like mid-trip motion. And you know those bushes or those flowers that have like a long stem and then there's like a bunch of purple flowers at the top?
Agapanthus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like hit one with my leg because I was still in forward momentum, and it wrapped around my leg and it whipped and it whipped my calf. So finally I stopped and I looked at Victor because, of course, I had to acknowledge him.
You have to acknowledge his looking up at you like, is this your awkward moment?
He wasn't even starting up at the steps. He was at the bottom of the steps, and he was looking at me, and he's like, "You all right?"
Did that thing just reach out and bite you?
Yeah. I'm like, fine. I'm good.
Funny. As long as you don't fall and hit your leg on anything.
No, I didn't hit anything.
Hitting the concrete's the worst.
Didn't fall or hurt anything. I just, was... I don't know what I was doing. I was running or something. I don't know what I was doing.
Oh, God. I saw a lady the other day at the store with a skinned knee. I hadn't seen... I'm like, why? What had happened to you? You don't look like a woman who runs. So, like, what happened? That's awful.
I have a skinned knee right now.
You do?
Yes.
Why? What did you do?
Because I was playing with Olivia, and I think I was trying to do, like, the Johnny Nagarelli on the carpet.
Tell it to us, Johnny!
And...
What's the key to your success? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, God. Well, that's very funny.
Yeah. So anyways.
That is very funny. No, mine's really funny. Okay, so I told you that, the Pirates of the Caribbean is Daryl and I, that's our favorite ride. Mm-hmm. And we try to start our trip with the ride and end our trip with the ride. And it kind of didn't work out like that this time, but because we were practically injured. We walked 30 miles in 2 days.
Wow.
It was crazy how much we walked. So when finally I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, I don't want to do this any longer. I want to leave. I want to go. And so this was the day before though. So we're in line. It's like 10 o'clock at night and there's a line for Pirates. And Daryl and I are just standing there and we're just, having a conversation. And there's some people in front of us. And then there's a woman and her mom and her son, her little baby, who's probably like maybe 8 months old. And grandma's holding him. Mm-hmm. So we're talking and everyone's kind of looking at Daryl because he got the new Disney ears, which glow, they light up and they're Star Wars. So they're really cool looking and you can see them from everywhere. So everybody, the guys in front of us are like, oh, those are really cool ears. I might actually buy ears if I can get those. He goes, yeah, they're really great, blah, blah, blah. And so they're talking. And so I'm kind of backing up a little bit just because they're all kind of talking a little bit. And sure as shit, I elbowed someone behind me. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think anything of it. I just turned around and go, oh, I'm so sorry. I elbowed the baby. I elbowed the baby in his back.
Oh my gosh.
And not hard. It's not like I went, like that, but I had backed up and with my arm hit before my body did. And I turned and go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. They're like, oh, it's okay. And I said, did I elbow your baby? And they go, yeah, but hardly at all. It was like no big deal. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And Daryl goes, what did you do? I go, I elbowed the baby. And when I said it like that, the ladies, they both started laughing.
God.
They laughed so hard at me. They're like, oh, because I did. I elbowed their little child. And
was he like, sleeping?
I'm so sorry. No. He was eating a churro.
Oh, he was eating a churro.
So I turn around and I go, hi, little one. I'm so sorry. And he's, of course, flirting now. Aww, and he's so cute. And oh my God, it was amazing. I'm like, I'm so sorry I elbowed you. Because he was just so cute. But it was awkward. But made it even funnier, though, was that they laughed at me when I said that to him because I was super shocked. Because I don't hurt children,
Not usually.
No. And so I'm just like, I elbowed the baby. And he's like, you what? I'm like, I know. I feel terrible. It was really funny.
I thought you were going to tell me you like elbowed Gwen Stefani or something like that.
Oh my God. I would have like, how'd that feel? No, I didn't elbow any celebrities. Although Paul Stanley was there.
Who is that?
He's the lead singer for Kiss.
Oh, that's right. I looked that up. I did.
Lick it up.
No, yeah. I did look that up. That's right.
Yeah, you Googled it. You're like, who's Paul Stanley?
Well, it wasn't coming to, because I was thinking like present day, actor or something like that. It wasn't coming to mind.
Old ass rock star.
So. All right, my throat is just getting really thick.
All right, well, let's call it a show. All right,
well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Those of you that are out there.
Hello. Echo. Hey, you know what? We always said we would do this because it was fun, not because we had thousands of downloads. So and we still do. It's just not as much as we're accustomed to.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just greedy.
Yeah.
No.
Well, of course. But the way I look at it is I listen to some of these podcasts that have been doing this for a really long time, and they're on like episode 900. I mean, it's like we're super early new people. We're still newbies.
We're still young.
We'll get there. Come on. We're amazing. We're wonderful. We're awesome. We will get there. I believe it.
We'll reach our goals. So
we'll be together like birds of a feather forever. What is that from? Grease 2, right? I know what I want. I know what I need.
God.
I love that movie. I should watch it.
If it was on television, it wouldn't suck. I'd probably watch it.
I'd watch it right now. Oh my God. I watched Troop Beverly Hills yesterday.
Oh, wasn't that good?
I love that movie.
I know. I don't know why it didn't get more hype when it came out. Or maybe it did. I don't know.
Well, no, it probably didn't. Well, in the 80s, nothing. It was funny. At the very end, they show the Wilderness Girls 1990. I'm like, oh my God, that was so long ago. But I don't know why Shelley Long gets such a bum rap. I think she's really funny.
She's so talented. I think she really is.
She's on Modern Family occasionally, and every time she's on, I just love her. Yeah. I'm like, why isn't she doing more? She's so great. I just think she's hilarious. But yeah, Troop Beverly Hills. And I'm like, Beverly Hills, what a thrill, Beverly Hills. And I was like, I love this movie. Why? I mean, Pia Zadora's in it, for God's sake. I mean, it's... Oh, and you know who else is in it? He plays one of the dads, is Vince Fontaine.
No kidding.
He's the has-been washed-up movie star that someone gets him a job and he becomes big again.
Oh, that's right. That's right, because all the dads were dropping him off, and yes, I remember that scene.
Yeah. And Craig T. Nelson is the dad.
Oh, yeah.
He's Mr. Muffler.
Mr. Muffler.
I love it. And this is the jewelry patch.
Oh, divorce.
That movie
divorce patch.
Here's the divorce patch.
Oh my God. Here's the canary patch. It's a canary diamond. I can hear it singing. Oh, Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
Yes. It's like, I have mint or what's the other one? Or fruit. Which lifesaver do you want? Remember when the bitch,
yes,
the new girlfriend falls in the water?
Somebody I'm sorry, I have spearmint or fruit or sugar free,
whatever it was. Yeah, that's a great movie.
Oh, don't worry, silicone is buoyant.
Oh God, that's great. That's great. And buy some cookies today.
I have a question. Why don't we just buy them for them?
Well, I
thought that, but remember, because the parents were sitting there, and they're just like, "Why don't we just buy all the cookies?
Why don't we just buy them all?"
Which is so typical of us, because I'm just like, what do you have to have? Why don't I just buy it all? What is it?
How much you need to be? What's the bare minimum that you need to spend to be?
That's what I told Crystal every time.
Done and done.
What?
Yeah.
I don't do cookie dough. I don't do cookie dough.
I hate that cookie dough shit. Although I will say that I have not had to spend or buy any of it in almost 2 years, because people are finally realizing that in California, carbs don't sell. You're going to have to buy something else.
Nobody wants to. I bought, God, I think I bought like $35 worth of peanuts.
You told me about the macadamia nut thing. Did you ever get them?
Yeah, I finally got my nuts, but
finally,
I just, I bought like all these nuts and they were gone within like a day.
Really?
And I'm just like, I can't believe we spent $35 on nuts. And they were in like a plastic baggie size.
Oh, so everybody just put their big mitts in them and took them out like popcorn?
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, they're healthy for you at least.
Well, yeah, I guess there's that.
It's so funny when kids or families do that, where they, like I made macaroni salad, and it was a big batch of macaroni salad. I made it for Daryl for Father's Day because he loves it, and so I made it. It was gone in less than 24 hours, and it's like I go, you guys act like I never make you food or that you never eat. You like inhale these things as it's like, oh, thank God, we're finally getting sustenance. And it's like $35, like 3 pounds of nuts. You guys act like you've never had a meal in your life. It's the craziest thing.
The kids do the same things when I make them muffins.
Yeah.
Like, I'll make muffins, and I'm like, okay, these are for breakfast, and they're gone by the end of the day. And I'm just like, whoa, I made 12 muffins. Where did they go?
Oh, we ate them.
And they're just like, for? They're good.
It's like, yeah, one a day. Yeah.
Just, I made muffins for breakfast. They didn't make them for all day long. And why are you guys eating them? There's, like I get it. It's like a special treat or something, I guess. But
not 5.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I had hoped that they would, last a little bit longer.
I was hoping at least 2 or 3 days. Yeah, no, that never happens. That never happens. Or when you buy something like chocolate milk, it's like,
oh God.
It's like, oh, finally, I'm alive again.
When I buy something like that, I just don't tell anyone I've bought that because I'm unwilling to share.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we bought orange juice for Father's Day, and that was gone before the end of the day. And I'm just like, who is drinking these beverages that, like, it's orange juice. I mean, I realize it tastes good and everything like that, but my God.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I had someone in the house that was deficient in, in
vitamin C, needed their orange juice, their folic acid.
Something. God. And I'm just like, but the tomato juice is left untouched. I don't get it.
That everyone wanted, and now
nobody wants it. Well, I got that because Victor likes tomato juice, but he hasn't even drank it yet, and I'm just like,
what's
well,
the point of
I guess I'll just drink it, and
I don't like tomato juice. It tastes like soup to me. Ugh.
Oh, you don't?
No, Daryl loves Bloody Marys, and so
Bloody Mary mix tastes really good, actually.
Yeah,
if you get it plain.
I don't mind. I don't not like the taste of it. It's just, it tastes like a meal. So it's like, I've never really, occasionally I'll do it. Like, he'll make a Bloody Mary and it will look really good. I'm like, ooh, I want a taste of that. So I'll taste it. I'm like, God, I feel like I'm drinking soup. It's like gazpacho. No thanks.
Well, haven't you seen those Bloody Marys they've made that come with like freaking cheeseburgers on top and everything like that? Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
What's the point? It almost looks like a base.
I used to get a Bloody Mary at the bowling alley, and it came with like a pickled green bean and, a stalk of celery, and I thought I was rocking it pretty good.
You're like, hey, this is fancy shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like nice.
Now it looks like a floral arrangement. I know.
Now it's like a buffet.
I know. No, it's like a meal. No, Daryl doesn't like them. Like, he just likes them super spicy with he likes the pickled spicy bean and sometimes the celery stalk, of course.
Yeah.
But I just think they taste like gazpacho. So I'm like, I can't do it. But enjoy, but they do taste good. It's just that I just don't, it's just not my thing at all. So
yeah, I'm not a big fan of Bloody Mary, actually. I just, maybe if they were a little spicier, I might like them, but...
Yeah, Daryl makes really good... Maybe he'll make you one and you can try it.
Someday, yeah.
Someday. Oh, my new favorite drink is a gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic, huh?
It is so freaking good. Really, really tasty and super refreshing.
What kind of gin are you drinking?
Well, we have Hendrick's.
Oh, okay.
But I did have a gin and tonic with some Tanqueray, and I really liked it. Really like the taste.
That's good. So, I know my mom, or not my mom, my friend, she used to do Bombay Sapphire.
I've heard Bombay Sapphire is good. I have not tried that. But Daryl's dad said something about Tanqueray, and I went, oh, interesting. So, and I forgot to tell you. Maybe I'll tell you about it next week. There's not much to tell. But Daryl and I went to a comedy show a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
We saw Burt Crusher, who is one of my favorite comics right now. Anyway, it was a really fun show, but I had a double gin and tonic because there's a 2-drink minimum. So I had it, and I was like, this is so good.
Oh, God.
I didn't know I liked gin so much. It was really funny, but I do. So I don't drink them, obviously. I don't drink them often because they're very strong. It's like drinking vodka. But when I do drink them, I really do. And what I think I realize that I like is I like anything that's carbonated.
Oh, okay.
Gin and tonic is a carbonated beverage, and there's something about it that makes it super refreshing. So
interesting.
Which is why I just like Perrier too, or Pellegrino, but
Pellegrino. Yeah. I mean, most of your waters have always been carbonated.
I know, but now that we have a refrigerator that has really good filtration, you can just have tap water now.
Yeah, it is good. But I mean, if you also just like fizzy water, you could just buy it too. So.
Yes, that's true.
So, all right. Well, I think that's a wrap. Thanks everybody for listening, and thank you for shopping our Avon and Amazon links. Stay cool, friends. I know it's still not cooled off entirely for some of us in the Southwest region. So, stay cool, Las Vegas and Phoenix, and
Phonics.
Also, watch out, tropical storm folks in the Gulf.
I know. Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap. But make sure to watch your podcast feed for all the screw-ups and edits from this episode and what we call Ugly Cuts. And then we'll have a brand new full episode for you next week. Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.